Whole Earth and Sea is even higher level for us. So this is our premier line in already a line of premier quality products. Proceeds from the Whole Earth and Sea line go to seed preservation. We currently in our seed bank have 183 species of plants that are extinct in nature. Each scoop has a full 8 servings of vegetables, fruits, and medicinal mushrooms. It's just insane to me.
Guess who's back with us today? We're talking with Carrie G. Pattison, representing Natural Factors, and she's a practicing herbalist, licensed acupuncturist, and trained home birth midwife. Carrie's a graduate of the National University of Natural Medicine, and she serves as national educator for Natural Factors, which we'll be discussing today extensively in some of our favorite products here. And Carrie's also adjunct professor of herbal studies at Huntington University of Health Sciences, which she briefly mentioned in the last episode. If you missed that one, go back into our YouTube channel or on our podcast platform and look for Natural Factors and Carrie and watch that episode too as a good preface to today's show. And Carrie's originally from rural Alaska, and her love for travel and social justice issues in the developing world led her to undergraduate degrees focused on global development and relief, and it fuels her lifelong passion for health and healing. Carrie, welcome back to Healthy Habit Podcast.
Thanks for having me again.
So last time, remember, we talked about balance, how important that is, and how people in the West, westernized countries, more of like the first world, right, the richer countries, more civilized countries, we want to say, are getting way more amount of fat and protein, and then the wrong types of fat and protein as well.
Yeah.
Re-mention that to us, give us a refresher, and then we'll dive into products like RX Omega and go from there.
Yeah, so the refresher on that, I think you gave the refresher. That was really brilliant. We have all real food contains so many different nutrients. This is actually something that I was just chatting with a colleague about as far as research is concerned, because, you know, a pharmaceutical company can do a research study on, and they're doing it on an isolated chemical structure. So it's really easy to see apples to apples with that. But when we are looking at supplements or something like a fish oil, we talk about the omega-3s in there, but there's 6, 9, 11, 17, like who knows what's really also in there. So we can kind of, sometimes it's challenging to do some of these studies on actual, especially botanicals,
Sure.
like any sort of plant. I mean, there's ingredients in there, there's chemical structures in there, phytonutrients, what we call them, that we probably haven't even discovered yet. And that might be the thing that's doing the thing in our bodies for health and healing. But we do know omega-3 for sure. There's just way, way, way too much research on the importance of omega fatty acids in general. So last time we talked about this word essential. Anytime you see the word essential, it means that our body's not making it ourselves. We have to supplement with it. And omega-3 is one of what we would call these essential fatty acids. Omega-6 is another essential fatty acid. We need it in our body. But our diet nowadays is imbalanced with the amount of 3 and 6. So, you know, if you're eating salmon every day, you're probably getting nice healthy levels of omega-3s. Wild Alaskan salmon, please. If you're
that's coming from a true Alaskan right there.
I didn't know there was anything in like but salmon until I was like in high school. Yeah. And if you are, you know, if you're going to that chain restaurant and eating a huge steak, or you're going through the McDonald's drive-through and getting your Big Mac, you're not getting the healthy omegas. You're getting some of the ones that can be in not proper balance. They can cause issues in the body that can really lead to some health challenges. So what we would call pro-inflammatory products.
And a lot of those animals are being fed corn, grains, soy, massive amounts, which is unnatural for them. Right?
It's unnatural for them. And that is also covered with, I just was saw one of my other favorite podcast people was talking yesterday about beer and how that's like one of the most unhealthy alcohols out there. And mainly it's because the grain that's used for beer is all sprayed with glyphosate. So you're getting that. So we are not even thinking about that, right? We're not thinking about the hormones that are being put into these animals. We're not thinking about the antibiotics that are just being put into these animals. So there's a lot of things that is going into our bodies, and we know that we can use supplements to help, whether or not we want to detoxify or we just want to be living a healthier lifestyle and make sure that we have some balance in. So that's where RX Omega comes into play. We're looking at, like, I always want to tell people, I want you to take about 2,000 milligrams a day of omega-3 fatty acid. Like, that's a really good kind of number to look for. And there's amazing research just coming out on 2,000 milligrams with mental health.
Yeah.
Because the gut and the brain are directly connected. So this is a great way, like, said 2,000, you could take 2 of those and get what you need from that. So, which is really, really lovely. Yeah. See, there you go.
Folks, I just pulled up, for all those on YouTube, you can see this, but if you're on Spotify and the other platforms, you won't be able to see this, but I'm on naturalfactors.com. And I pulled up the RX Omega-3, which is, I love the name, by the way, like prescription Omega-3, because a lot of practitioners use this in their clinic. Is that right?
Exactly. So we have a practitioner line, actually, and it's the same thing in a different label.
Right.
So I like to tell people that, you're going to be getting that practitioner physician quality with Natural Factors.
So the fish that we're using in this product is the anchovy, sardine, and mackerel blend. Is that still how it's being produced?
Yes, it's a small fish blend.
Okay.
And the reality of it, there's only a couple of fisheries on the planet that all the fish oil companies are sourcing from. So whether it's coming from the coast of Morocco or Peru, and so, that can change seasonally, and then also for sustainability purposes. We need to make sure that we are treating our fisheries. Oh, you're gonna get me going with the fish. With respect. So I like to kind of like remind people that we're all kind of sourcing from the same place. It's what we do with it after that. So a couple of unique things about Natural Factors is we manufacture it ourselves. So this is another thing that's really cool to look for on all of our bottles, is where it says manufactured by Natural Factors. So soft gels, there's only like 2 or 3 soft gel manufacturers in all of North America, because it's such an expensive endeavor. And we do it. And that's one of the reasons why you see such great pricing on our products, is because what happens with a lot of companies is that you'll see where it says distributed by or manufactured for. They're just purchasing it from some third party that's making it and putting their name on it. So they have to pass that third party cost onto the customer.
Right.
Since we're making it ourselves, it's all there. It's all done. We don't have to pass that cost on. And we can really, really benefit the customer in that way. The other thing is all of the rounds of quality control, right? Especially anything coming from the ocean. I want to know that it's been tested for PCBs and dioxin and radiation. You'll oftentimes hear people talk about like a fishy burp or a fishy repeat, right? They're burping up nasty fish oil.
Yeah.
Well, that really means that either the fish oil itself is rancid already by the time it's put into soft gel, or it's breaking down in the stomach, which is not where we want it to break down. We want it to get into the small intestine. So because the fact that we own our own soft gel manufacturing facilities and capabilities, we actually have this thing called Therapeutic. I didn't know this, but apparently most enteric coating that you see, on probiotics and things like that, it's simply a plastic or a synthetic shellac that's been sprayed on, and that's what gets it through our stomach acid. So what we've done is we found a natural plant material that we've embedded into the soft gel itself. So that's where you'll see our Therapeutic technology. And what that means is it's not breaking down in the stomach. It's getting into the small intestine, where we know it needs to go to get the benefits of omega-3. Because we talked about the benefits of omega-3 for balancing out, the different omegas in the body if you're eating too much protein.
Right.
But What about it for cardiovascular health and heart health and healthy inflammatory responses, joint flexibility? Our all of our cells in our body have a like a structure on the outside of them, and the cell skin, if you will. And I use the analogy of, think about like a balloon, right? It's nice and taut, that cell membrane, but as a balloon ages, it kind of shrivels and shrinks and gets crinkly.
Yeah.
Well, it's the omega fatty acids, these essential omega fatty acids, that are all about making sure that cell membrane is in good working condition and health for nutrients to pass in and out.
Sure.
If it's shriveled and shrunken, nutrients aren't passing in and out, and it's not happy. So this is another reason why we talk about like RX Omega for radiant skin, because you can plump the cells of your skin as well. But then also cognitive health, brain function. We talked in the previous one about, or we actually just talked about, that mental health connection. But there's so much that we know about omega fatty acids that it is essential that we supplement with them.
Absolutely, Carrie. And can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you mentioned even the balance between the omega-3s and the omega-6s. I want to share one more chart here. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you won't be able to see it, but you can see over time, you can see this, Carrie, how the omega-6s have just
there you go. Yeah.
skyrocketed since
gosh.
1909. You can see the title up here, Omega-6 fats, calories per person per day. So it's safe to say, like, this obesity epidemic that we're in right now, diabetes, hypertension, heart failure, heart attacks, it's not being fueled by eating too many omega-3s, right? This is it's not because people are taking too much RX Omega.
Not
right?
at all.
Do you have any thoughts on this? And if you're listening to this, it's like a 50-degree angle going upwards, up and to the right of omega-6s.
Crazy. I have a chart. I actually think I have it up. I should send it to you.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, or I might be able to screen share here too. Whoa, wouldn't that be crazy cool, fun technology? Let me see if
we couldn't do this on radio, that's for sure.
No, I know. Yeah, okay. Let me see if I can screen share this as well. Show you this.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to give another shout out to naturalfactors.com, folks. You can head over to naturalfactors, all one word.com, and type in RX Omega and any of the other products we're going to be discussing today here with Carrie.
I'm going to just email it to you so you can bring it up on yours. That'll be easier.
Perfect.
So this is a really fascinating one that I found that is almost the exact same trajectory, but with carbohydrates.
Okay.
And the removal of fiber. So you see fiber go down in like high fiber sources of carbohydrates, and these, sad, refined carbohydrate consumption just go up through the roof, which is also challenging for our cells and blood sugar stability. I mean, look at that. Yeah. It's like almost the exact same.
I just pulled this up here, and this is pretty cool to see. I mean, look, and like you mentioned, it's not only that, but the fiber-rich carbs have gone down, which would be like the whole grains, right? And good quality bread. So this is
where we start to see, these like all of the things that you mentioned earlier. We wrap them in this phrase, metabolic syndrome.
Yeah.
And this is the challenge. I think that if we're going to say like, what is our biggest challenge in 2023, mental health, but metabolic syndrome and mental health are, they're actually interlinked in my opinion too. When we look at what's happening with the gut microbiome, but it's
and so real quick, people are shopping in the store as we speak. We have the show playing for customers as they're in Healthy Habit Health Foods here. And by the way, we're located at 6029 North 7th Street. That's 6029 North 7th Street here in Phoenix, Arizona. There's different strengths, Carrie, with the RX Omega. How do we know which one for just the general lay person looking for a fish oil? How do they know where to start?
I think just a general lay person, you could go with just the basic RX Omega. Okay. If you know you are somebody that is doing a, more high protein diet, or you already have some of these medical challenges going on where there are some really deep sources of inflammation happening in your body, then that's where I would head for the ultra strength. What I do personally is I do one of the RX ultra strength and one of our wild Alaskan salmon oil. But we've established that I'm a salmon oil enthusiast or salmon in general.
Okay, perfect. So that's the RX Omega-3, folks. Again, you can head over to naturalfactors.com and research that product there. You can even purchase it there, or come on down to the store, or you can even give us a call. We can ship it to you from Healthy Habit at 602 252 6000 is our phone number, 602 252 6000. Carrie, we'll finish off this this episode, talking about whole earth and sea in the last 10 or 12 minutes here. Introduce us into this line for Natural Factors. Tell us about whole earth and sea products.
So our whole earth and sea line, in the last episode, we talked a lot about who we are as Natural Factors. We talked a little bit about our quality standards, Health Canada. We didn't mention TGA either, which TGA stands for the Therapeutic Goods Administration. This is Australia's version of the FDA. It's actually the most stringent requirement in the world. So if you are certified TGA, your product is essentially the best you can,
the real deal,
you can't find anywhere else. And there are, from my understanding, there's only 2 other North American companies that have that full certification for the company, and it's Thorne and Metagenics, which you also sell at Healthy Habit, but those are practitioner only, right? You have to come and see the docs to get those. But yes, so amazing when you talk about that sort of high level for all of our products. Whole Earth and Sea is even higher level for us. So this is our premier line in already a line of premier quality products. So with the Whole Earth and Sea, a lot of the focus for us is what comes from our farms. Not everything in there comes from our farms for sure, but that's always, you can't grow everything in British Columbia.
Right. You're not going to farm like Alaskan salmon, right? In British Columbia.
No, exactly. I don't think we're going to be able to get our turmeric in British Columbia.
Why is that? I don't hear that.
Oh, so this is a tropical plant. It's always the one that you're going to find. I always like going to Hawaii or other places like that and seeing, the ginger and the turmeric and these lovely tropical plants. You can actually grow them in your house. They're beautiful, like these beautiful grassy plants, if you get the organic nodes. But so Whole Earth and Sea, I love that so much of it is coming directly from our own farms. So we have over 2,000 acres of certified organic regenerative farmland. Really unique things happening with our Whole Earth and Sea line that customers aren't even aware of. Every time they purchase a Whole Earth and Sea product, there's all of these things that are happening behind the scenes. Like, we own our own seed bank at Natural Factors. I think a lot of people weren't aware of that. This is to guarantee that we're utilizing true species, non-hybrid, non-GMO, like heirloom quality seeds. But within our seed bank, we're also preserving seeds for future generations. So these are the things that some of the proceeds from the Whole Earth and Sea line go to seed preservation. We currently in our seed bank have 183 species of plants that are extinct in nature.
Wow.
They're not medicinals. They're not going into our products. If you talk about like agribusinesses or agri farms where every square inch of land is required to be making money all the time, well, we have parts of the farm that are just growing these plants for future generations for seed preservation. So there's a lot of these beautiful things that are happening behind the scenes. So one of my favorite tenets of regenerative agriculture, because I knew you were going to be bringing up these sodas, is no fences. Because the idea is that nature's supposed to be interacting with the farm. And actually that one there that says Factors Farm, if you click on that, so you can kind of really barely see way in the foreground there, those tiny little yellow dots like in the center. That's our apiary. One of the apiaries on the farm. That's the
Wow.
only place on the farm where we have fences, because we have two family of bear that are constantly trying to break into the
Really?
beehives to get to the honey. So we want to protect our bees. But other than that, nature gets to interact with this gorgeous soil. The average depth of topsoil in North America is anywhere between 5 and 10 inches deep. Our topsoil is anywhere between 6 and 15 feet.
Yeah.
So some of the
This
richest
is
in
just
North
unbelievable.
America, if not the world. Yeah, last time I was there, everybody was making fun of me, but I was like
Yeah.
eating the dirt off my hands, right? Because I wanted all that good, healthy bacteria.
Yeah.
And then we sat down for lunch, and Roland, one of his heart things, our owner, is cooking for people. This is his love language. And he
Okay.
brought out this plate with all these baby carrots that he had just harvested. And they also had the dirt on them. And he was like, I didn't clean them because you guys need that good bacteria. And I was like, yes, preach.
Wow. If you're
But
following along right now on Spotify or on audio, I pulled up the Natural Factors Farm here, and you can just simply just go to Google Images and type in Natural Factors Farm and just look at the first like half of the page. It's really is amazing
it is.
that
Yeah,
that
we're
this
hand
is
harvesting, we're hand weeding. There's now, I think there's over 120 pesticides that are approved for use in certified organic farming, which, we don't think about. We don't think about the fact that like it's certified organic, but you can still utilize chemicals. So we don't even utilize those. Everything is nature. So we have 7 ponds on the farm, and out of those ponds come millions upon millions upon millions of frogs every spring. And that's our
wow.
main source of pest control, are these adorable itty bitty little frogs. I'll have to send you a photo of the frogs sometime, next
Yeah.
time we can bring them up. But yeah, it is. And it's like when we work with our bodies and pay attention to our bodies. And that's something, that's another thing for the new year for everybody. If we want to be in balance this year, I think one of the things we need to stop and do is learn how to listen to our
Right.
bodies. It's that thing, you start getting sick. Well, immediately you need to start taking anti-V, as you know, right? And stop and rest. Like, give your body a chance to do its job. But it's when we keep pushing and pushing and pushing, we don't even know. Like, I think sometimes we can stop. It's that syndrome of we all go on vacation and then we get sick.
Right.
Because finally our bodies have taken a moment to rest and relax, but our levels of stress and everything are just so high
Yeah.
that everything shuts down. So let's take the opportunity to listen to our bodies. And when we do, it's going to give us clues on what it needs. And one of the things I love about the Whole Earth and Sea line is the fermented greens. So
Okay.
100% organic, 100% fermented. And every ingredient in there is fermented separately and then brought back together and actually concentrated down in one of our unique technologies. So each scoop has a full 8 servings of vegetables, fruits, and medicinal mushrooms. It's just insane to me. And especially like I travel typically. It'll be fun. Maybe sometime I'll do a podcast from a hotel room or
Please,
something.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. But when I'm on the road or when we're in our everyday lives, we're dropping the kids off at school or we've got to go shopping or this or that or this. How do we stop and get nutrition? Well, a multivitamin, a whole food multi is really imperative. But I love knowing I can just grab our fermented greens and at least I am getting that
At least, right.
full amount in there. And it's a really easy, simple thing to do. I just made up my morning shake is our protein and greens, our L-glutamine powder. I also put our total body collagen, marine collagen in there, and relief fiber. So that's what I do in the morning. And it's amazing to start my day knowing that I'm getting, my fiber,
Right.
my greens, and the fermentation really helps the body. I think that this is something clinically that we're all very aware of. I used to joke about it. Who are our customers in the store? They're stressed out, they can't sleep, and they're constipated. So, you help somebody with a bathroom issue, you're going to change their life. That's another thing for 2023. Let's all poop happy this year.
Right.
And I give people fermented greens and they're like overnight. They're like, wow, you know, give them a little bit of good fiber and give them a little bit of fermented foods, and we have happy bathroom situations, which is something that is for a
That's
lot
how
of
it should be.
people. Yeah, a lot of people, this can be a really big challenge.
I like the relief fiber because it's a low FODMAP option for people. Some people
It
get
is.
worse on certain fiber products. It just sits there like a rock. It's like eating
Yes.
sandpaper. But the
Yeah.
relief fiber is specifically designed to be easy on the gut, right?
I like to call it the Goldilocks of fiber because, you know, we talk about short chain fatty acids, long chain fatty acids, you know, and fiber sources and things like that. And it's just the Goldilocks. It's just right. But yeah, you know,
Yeah.
one of the challenges of fiber is a lot of the reasons people are taking fiber, they end up having those challenges with fiber. And you don't see that with the relief fiber. It's really brilliant. And it's
Folks, yeah.
gritless. It's
Mixes
completely
easily.
clear. Yeah, you don't even know it's there.
And that would be a perfect pair with one of the whole earth and sea, either the fermented greens. And by the way, there's the fermented greens is separate from the protein whole earth and sea products, right?
Yes, yes. So the protein in greens has the greens in there,
Okay.
plus some 5 different sources of fermented plant protein. And going back to talk about the farm and soil, our soil holds a lot of toxins. And so if you don't have a certification like Ishura, knowing that everything's being tested for contaminants, that's another thing I learned about organic certification with farming, is that they don't have to test the soil for heavy metals. So
Wow.
you could be getting plant protein that is high
In
in
cadmium
some,
or
yeah,
arsenic or who knows what.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, you know, another reason you want to look for, I really like seeing third-party certification, in addition to, you know, what we're doing already in-house.
Carrie, you are amazing. We're going to end it there. Thank you for your time. This was our
Thank
second
you.
of our series for 2023. We'll be talking with you monthly, if not more than that, but at least once a month we'll be talking with you, Carrie. So I appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, and I hope that I'm going to be able to pass off some special guests on occasion too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Don't reveal too much right now. We got to
No,
keep some suspense
Come
going.
back.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Carrie, and we will talk to you next time.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.